Hello again, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of Blitz with Shell. First and foremost, I want to thank the beautiful people of Reddit for all of your contributions online to find out what you want to see in upcoming videos, so thanks so much for the feedback. I will get to each of your requests in due time. And starting with that, we will be looking at the E-50 today. So very briefly, we'll talk about is this tank worth the grind, what's great about it, what's not so great about it, and get to some gameplay. It's going to be a real brief summary. So pretty much what I will say about this tank is that the grind to get to its final form, for me, was pure hell. The reason being is that this tank, without the upgraded engine and without the gun, that combination, it's terrible. You have very limited penetration and mobility, so you'll be facing a lot of tanks in the front without the ability to penetrate unless you're very good at hitting weak spots. Now, luckily there is some accuracy with those tier 8 guns, but working up to where you're at now, where we're at now, Top Gun, fully upgraded, very different beast indeed. So I find that the acceleration isn't that great. The lower plate is a huge glaring weak spot. The side is huge. I find that overall the gun depression isn't too great, so all of these things combined make it play very much like many German tanks. But you do have a 900 horsepower engine in this thing, and so despite the acceleration difficulties and going up hills are kind of a struggle, you can get this thing up to 60 kph and beyond with the help of a hill. Flat land, you'll probably be getting to about 50 to 55 kph reasonably. The gun itself is pretty darn good. You can get a high roll and break 400 very easily, but for the most part you'll be rolling right around 380, 390, pretty average for tier 9. But let's get into some gameplay. Frontal armor is fairly good. I'd say that, in short, this tank is a heavier, more well-armored version of other mediums. And it's a ramming machine. So we are going to be playing Mines, which has a lot of potential for some good ramming action. If we get there first, before the other mediums, we do have ourselves an Indian Panzer. And I'm not really liking, overall, the, I'm not liking this medium lineup, but we're going to do what we can with it. CUC with a hill for starting and a speed boost. We're moving along at a reasonable clip. We're at about 40 kph up a hill, which is pretty good for this tank. We've beat the other tanks. I'm sure the speed boost had something to do with that. So we have this Patton here. We're going to go for the ram right away, and you see how much damage we got to do just with that little bit of speed that we had built up. And we two-shotted him. Alright, focus fire, guys. Going for Ram 2, not quite there. Let's chase him up a hill. Shoot him in the rear. Did a little bit of damage, and we're just going to pin him just until he's dead. So this is actually turning out to be a decent replay so far. We won the hill. That's pretty much succinctly what I wanted you guys to see what this tank can do. You can keep up with some of the other tanks, you can ram those lighter tanks, and you can penetrate a T-54 from the front, which is all you really can ask for when fighting mediums, but you see too, you can also penetrate T-30. The disadvantage, I guess you could say, is that you don't get APCR as your standard ammo, but that actually to me is an advantage because it's cheaper and your penetration is still reasonable. So you see we're taking the T-30, took him out. We're actually doing not so bad. I honestly don't always do too great in this tank, and the reason being is the mobility is more of a straight line mobility akin to the excuse me. Okay, we might have to switch to some APCR for this, but akin to like the Panther 2, for example. I will go very quick in a straight line, but you bleed speed if you turn. That's what this tank's like too, and so that Conqueror is toast, unfortunately. We probably didn't even need the APCR, but with an E-75, I don't like to risk it. And so what we're going to do now is try to draw fire from that IS-3. Let's go for a ram, see what happens. Yeah, we got some damage on him actually, which is surprising to me. So you can see you can actually ram tier 8 heavies and get away about even point for point. So if you're at an advantage like that, definitely worth doing. So we got a Radley Walters medal. 5 kills, not too shabby, right? So that's what this tank's capable of on a good day. On a bad day, you can get outmaneuvered. You can get circled at times by like a leopard, for example, if you're not too careful. You'd have to, if you're in the stock tank more specifically, you can get circled. And so we got ourselves a Top Gun, Radley Walters, Sniper Award. Did a lot of damage in a short period of time, but anyhow, that's what this tank can do. Thanks very much for watching, thanks for the recommendation, and please send in replays. If you're not on Reddit, the subreddit World of Tanks Blitz is a great place to find me and find some of your brethren. Alright, thanks so much for watching, have a good day.